I am too little. Do you see me? In the second reading, it is said, "Consider how Jesus endured such opposition from sinners, in order that you may not grow weary and lose heart." My brothers and sisters, we should never lose our commitment to the Lord in spite of the many obstacles we encounter. Love and mercy must always prevail. Each of us is invited by God to be a living witness of mercy to our neighbors. Like Jesus, as the Gospel said, we are called to set the earth on fire and make a difference. I believe that society around us may come to a point where the top priority is not of God's, but of man's. Jesus reminds us that it is important to be rich in what matters to God. As the second reading said, let us rid ourselves of every burden and sin that clings to us, and we keep our eyes fixed on Jesus. I remember reading the documents written by the three popes. St. John Paul II said on his document, reading the signs of the times, he said, "The society nowadays is facing apathy to faith and religion." And Pope Emeritus Benedict, he said, "Less spirituality." And now Pope Francis, he said, "The society is encountering now Christless spirituality." This seemed to be a crisis in faith which we face today. My brothers and sisters, we are not anymore looking for miracles of multiplication of the bread, or Jesus walking on the water, or when deaf-mute hears and speaks. Rather, what we need today are people who share love and lives to the broken-hearted and to the needy, to the poor ones. What we need today are people walking on earth with mercy, love, reconciliation, forgiveness, and generosity. What we need today on this earth are people whose hearts are listening and warm hearts open for peace and reconciliation. Yes, we need to pray for converted souls and hearts. Jesus' words in the Gospel today, "How great is my anguish until it is accomplished." And he added, "Do you think that I have come to establish peace on earth?" No, Jesus comes to the world to bring division. There is a continuous fight between good and evil. But the point is, good will never stop fighting against the evil ones, because good will always prevail in the end. What matters is not blood relationship or kin's connection, but what matters most is the true spirituality and living a holy life. And we begin this in our families, in the way we relate towards one another as brothers and sisters. My name is Father Joey Diaz Aguilar from the Philippines, and this is my first time to be here in this beautiful country, America. It is 17 hours flight from Philippines to America. I enjoyed the flight. Philippines has 7,100 islands, 7,100 islands in the Philippines. And one of the islands where my diocese is. The name of the island and diocese is Diocese of Iraq. My gratitude to Bishop Richard, to Monsignor Frank, and Father Dan for allowing me to speak on behalf of the mission. My bishop in the diocese where I belong assigned me in the mountain, and so my parish is up in the mountain. I have 9 villages, mission chapels to say masses, officiate weddings, and baptisms. And to go to the farthest villages, I have to travel either by walk for 2 hours or by horseback by 35 minutes only. Thank God my father gifted me a horse as my source of transportation going to the different villages. I miss my horse. He is 5 years old. His name is Jin. He is my motorbike. In my diocese, we have an orphanage center for indigent, malnourished children. We feed them, we give them medicines, but we depend on the availability of resources. We also have diocesan clinic for poor indigent patients. We give them medicines. Luckily, we have lots of volunteer doctors offering free services. But as to the medicines and facilities, we depend on the availability of donations. Also, we have many seminarians in my diocese. We have 97 seminarians, 97. But so sad because 60% of this number of these seminarians were advised to go out from the seminary because they can no longer afford to pay seminary tuition fees. What will happen to their vocation of their becoming future priests, missionaries like me, proclaiming the Word of God? Poverty is becoming a hindrance to them to become priests. This is mission appeal. And mission appeal is not money. It is not the how much. Mission appeal offers a transformative meaning of universality of Catholicism, a witnessing church of the multiplication of the bread. The people I'm talking about, including myself, live at the other side of the world. The Philippines has 13-hour difference. It is now early morning in the Philippines. Though we have differences in the language, we talk our language in the Philippines, Filipino, differences in the cultures, beliefs, traditions, but we belong to the one body of Jesus. This is the universality of the church. How beautiful it is to become a member of Catholicism. There is always a reason to thank God by all means, my brothers and sisters, because I believe God is giving us many blessings, and we must be grateful for that. I remember a person who sometimes forget to thank God. This elderly person said, "I've sure gotten old. I've had 2 bypass surgeries, a hip replacement. I've got new knees. I fought prostate cancer and diabetes. I'm half blind. I can't hear anything quieter than a jet engine. I am taking 40 different medications that make me dizzy, winded, and subject to blackouts. I have bouts with dementia, have poor circulation. I can hardly feel my hands and feet anymore. I can't remember if I am 85 or 92. I feel I have lost all my friends, but thank God, I still have my driver's license." There is always something to thank God, but sometimes you forget it. The gift of life, families, the gift of community, the gift of the church, something to thank God always. And we manifest this gratitude by being generous to our brothers and sisters. Thank you.